Muska was just so far ahead of his time. And I even told Muska, I said, man, if you did that shit now, ooh.
As hip-hop and skateboarding both reached mainstream popularity, a small club in Manhattan began showcasing these two very unique art forms together under one roof.
That was just some next level shit, to have a skateboard ramp in a club and the skaters just have free reign.
The tunnel, I remember there being a half pipe. In the early days, right before like the tunnel was full on ghetto, but it was definitely hip hop.
It was just beyond anybody's wildest imagination. I don't even think they knew what they were really doing.
It was a skate ramp in the middle of this hip-hop party.
You know, it would be like a bunch of like the white New York City kids skating for a whole crowd of like, you know, hip downtown people, and then just like straight, you know, hip-hop hoods from New York City.
Back then, it was like a unique, you know, subset.
As street skaters from the East Coast gained notoriety, more West Coast skaters flocked to the streets of New York.
Going to the tunnel with your skateboard and you got some model chicks jockeying you. To me, I was like, what, dude? This is a change from Frisco, boy.
I remember that, and I remember the like hip hop dudes and thugs like tripping out. I'm like, what the hell is this?
And I walk up and there's this huge line. He's like, dude, how we getting? He's like, don't worry about it, bro. Skateboard. And we walk up and the guy's like, oh, you got skate? Let us right in. I was like, what?
Not only did the mini ramp at the tunnel serve as entertainment for skateboarders, it was also a platform for hip-hop's up-and-coming stars.
The stage in the Tunnel Club was a fucking mini ramp, and before Tupac, Biggie, Gangstar, and all the niggas went on stage, we were skating the ramp, and then we stopped, they performed, and we skated the ramp.
As skateboarding in New York gained popularity, photographer Larry Clark began documenting the movement.
And then we all start noticing this like weird, creepy old guy lurking around the banks taking pictures of everybody.
Like, who is this big old dude coming over here giving us beers and cigarettes and hanging out with us?
Clark's interest in this rising culture eventually led to a feature film entitled Kids, starring the same skaters he documented.
And we were like, all right, that's cool, but the thing that we didn't count on is that Kids ended up being the biggest commercial for Zoo York you could ever hope.
It helped cross it into mainstream observation.
Like, they documented our life.
Stephen Callis, you know, straight up, Stoops.
Somebody's writing graffiti or tagging people's boards or drawing on their grip tape, you know, and everybody else is watching Mark Gonzalez in the Blind video.
They showed us rolling up blunts, which is what we really did. Hanging out, skating as a posse, talking shit.
Watch where the fuck you skating at. Watch where you up, yo. What? What I said, yo. What? Forget it, enough.
The culture of teenage kids at the time was also becoming a bigger focus of attention, and not just directly because of skateboarding, but because of all the things that kids were into at that time.
I sort of tie Zoo York and Kids, the movie, together, that one moment where that snapshot of Lower East Side subversive youth, I guess, became a popular, trendy thing.
78 miles away, in the city of brotherly love, a young kid would emerge from the North Philadelphia projects, further propelling the face of skateboarding.
Pepe kept saying, you gotta see this kid Stevie, you gotta see this kid Stevie. He's really sick.
He's very much on par with Kareem, just sort of in a different time era.
Stevie was one of those kids that I just knew, like, right away from seeing him skate, that he's gonna be one of the best.
He was really small, and he was called Little Stevie, and I thought, that's like, okay, here's a little bit of like image involved with it too.
People that may have not known about Kareem or known about myself and the impact that we made in the skateboarding industry, then came Stevie Williams and was like, Stevie Williams, this, you know, black kid from Philly that's just thugged out.
At a time when being black and riding a skateboard would lead to ridicule, a chance encounter would open the floodgates to millions of new skaters.
I ran into these two kids that was skateboarding. And I never really tripped off of them. I just like, damn, wow, some black skateboarders or whatever. And then one day, like, I kind of bumped into them. They was teaching this other kid how to do an ollie.
I challenged my friend Hill to teach Steve how to ollie. And he said, you know, Save 2 will learn how to ollie before Steve.
I was like, all right, that's what's up.
So Steve got the board, we gave him the board, and I won the bet.
Every time I seen them dudes, I was like, yo, let me use your board, let me ride your skateboard. And they was like, you gotta get your own skateboard. He's like, you gotta get a professional skateboard. And I'm like, what the hell is a professional skateboard? You know what I'm saying? And he's like, you know, the ones that go like that. I'm like, oh, okay, that's the pro joint. How much them joints cost? He's like, oh, about $150. I'm like, damn, $150, that's a lot of money.
I'm from West Philly, from North Philly, Diamond Street projects, probably just as worse as my projects, all types of crazy. I just really didn't think he would really take it that serious.
Eventually I caught up, and that's how I got into skateboarding, just like a bet and just like being determined. I was like, yo, I'm gonna get me a professional skateboard, you know what I mean?
And I remember Stevie, and he had on this wife beater, and it was all dirty and shit. And he was just like, yo, Jamal, man, these motherfuckers is trying to play me. You know what I'm saying? They think I'm soft, and this and this and this, and jerking around with the companies and stuff. And I was like, Stevie, come here, bro. I was like, yo, Digga, just skate, man. Stevie, just skate.
I like the style, and I like the way he skated and what he skated. His whole career, he's never needed to like jump down big rails and huge stairs. He just skates like ledges and flat and does it real well.
He kick flipped and caught him like up under his feet and then did tricks like backside tail slide, or 360 flips were really good.
Stevie became good because of something in him that did not give a fuck about the ridicule. Like I think he loved skating a little bit more than paying attention to the criticism that he got.
With Stevie's success, kids from all walks of life noticed a new outlet via skateboarding.
He didn't have to alter his style or his swagger in any sort of way. So I think that showed other kids in the hood like, yo, shit, he looks just like me, but he's got the ill skills. So, I mean, it's a possibility. It's not just a wicked jump shot or being an MC no more. There's another avenue out.
My mom, she used to tell me, she used to always tell me to quit, because she used to go to the bars and the people around the neighborhood used to laugh at her because her son rode a skateboard. All my cousins used to be like, look at your pants. What you got them crazy ass pants on, and what you doing? Are you riding a skateboard? Are you white? Like, I'm just like, damn.
I didn't see Stevie for some years. This car pulls up, and Stevie jumps out the car. This big old hockey jersey on his chain. And he's like, yo, Jamal. And I'm like, what's up, man? He's like, yo, that's my car. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. He's like, no, I'm skating. Like, I'm skating for like DC and stuff. I'm doing these things. Yes. And I'm like, that's what it is.
Got that call, boom, yo, you can pick the Range Rover up. Whole day, the whole shit changed. Everything changed. Go around the way, they're like, damn, who that? You know what I mean? Go around my cousin way, and there's other drug dealers around there. It was one dude had the same color car as me, but I went up there one day and somebody ran up on the car thinking it was him. And they was like, oh, my bad fam, my bad fam. So I knew I was in a whole different category. So I went around my cousin way. He was like, damn, I wish I would have started skating with you. I'm like, oh, but she was laughing though.
That's what it is, Stevie Williams, I love you, my good brother. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. 13 circles in the mix. Only one Jesus Christ.
In the hood, materialistic things symbolize success sometimes. But where I'm from, I could still be living with my mom in the room I grew up in. As long as I'm pushing that Range Rover, people see you doing your thing. So I kind of took that as like, all right, I am doing my thing, and people was feeling me on that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that 97 Platinum Range Rover, it's vicious. Shut them down.
Skateboarding was further propelled by the release of the video game, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Skating now is much more accepted because probably of Tony Hawk, literally.
You know what I think opened up skateboarding a lot to all the communities too as well, was the video game.
My first game came together, Activision called me and said, hey, we heard you're shopping around a skate game. We actually are working on a skate game. And I went up to their office in Santa Monica and saw what they were working on, and I said, this is it, this is what I want to do. My greatest concern in doing a video game was keeping it authentic in terms of tricks and looks and locations and things like that. But I allowed all the guys that we brought into the game to have their influence on it.
I was doing the 1 foot grinding with the ghetto blaster, all that stuff, And so video games are open to all communities, you know what I mean? So if you couldn't ride the skateboard physically, you could get on the game and play it.
At the end of the day, skateboarding is probably one of the most difficult sports to achieve in.
That's the reason why there's not a lot of people that do it. It's not for everybody, so if you can include more people, all the better.
There's been other skate games in the past, but just to like, not only have Tony make a game, but Tony was cool enough to like help bring the rest of us up.
Before that, the only people that really appreciated skating were the skaters themselves. And so it was very much, not a novelty, but a niche sport. And now, there are plenty of people that like to sit back on the couch and watch the X Games or watch the Dew Tour and go, wow, that's amazing, you know, never picking up a skateboard on their own, but appreciating everything about it.
So I'm skating around, you know, Brooklyn area, and it's not the nicest neighborhood, and I see like a group of thugs, you know, and they're just staring at me, staring at me, staring at me, and I'm like, man, should I cross the street, or that's gonna look bitch, I can't cross the street, so I gotta walk through them. So I'm walking through, and they're staring at me, mad dogging me, I'm kind of keeping my ground, looking at them, and we're all talking like, hey, come here a second, come here. I'm like, shit, what's up, you know, and they're like looking at me, I'm like, oh man, I'm about to get jacked, and they're all, you're that fool from Tony Hawk Pro Skater, aren't you? You know, and I'm like, oh shit, like, yeah, what's up there? Oh, no, check him out, let's get a photo. You know, so they all gathered me up and they're taking, so here I am, think I'm about to get jacked and jump in Brooklyn, and these guys want to take a picture with me.
As skateboarding became more prevalent in mainstream culture, an up-and-coming producer named Pharrell Williams would team up with Zoo York to do an ad promoting his new album.
When you would talk about skateboarding, I would tell him about, you know, my experience in it. So Pharrell appeared in the Zoo York ad.
That Zoo York ad, that made me feel the best.
When Zoo did the ads with them and stuff, I just thought it looked really bad, and it said no posers, and I thought they looked like posers in it. You know what I mean? Because Pharrell really doesn't skate.
Granted, they're not doing like inward hard flips to backside crooked grinds, but you know, a lot of people have that like, Pharrell can't skate, but like if you've ever skated, you can't just hop on a skateboard and do an invert. You know, it's like, you gotta work at it.
I'm like campaigning for it.
Yeah.
I'm just a supporter and just trying to provide the same opportunity that I wanted that I didn't get.
Pharrell being on MTV rolling around, you know, the whole Zoo York kind of combo deal, and you know, Lupe a little bit. Having those guys be who they are in the public image, talking about skateboarding, yeah, man, it definitely pulls in kids from the inner cities.
I think it kind of was for real, cause like after all the ice cream and all the BBC and all that kind of stuff, and like Lupe Fiasco, all that kind of stuff, they just have a skateboard cause like, oh, this rapper said I skate or whatever, and that he likes skating, so I'm gonna do that.
Yeah. People don't know that about Tommy Guerrero. Like, Tommy Guerrero is an incredible musician.
Yeah.
And like, if you listen to his music, you will be blown away.
Yeah.
And you're like, this can't be. The media would like you to think that like, most people are like one-track minded and can only do one thing.
Yeah.
But it's not true.
NERD, like Skateboard P, like, dude's my friend. Like, Pharrell's my friend. I work with him. He did bring skateboarding to the forefront. It doesn't matter if dude can get down as good as so-and-so or so-and-so or so-and-so. Like, he's bringing the sport, like, I think to a bigger audience, you know what I mean? He's just making it better for everybody.
Expanding on his passion for skateboarding, Pharrell started the clothing line BBC and Ice Cream, his skateboard shoe line. The first skater Pharrell signed to Ice Cream was Terry Kennedy.
TK was just this little kid from Long Beach that just happened to come across skateboarding in Cherry Park. He was the kid that showed up and tried everybody's board that actually started skating.
Pharrell started saying Skateboard P and all this and that. So that definitely like brought an initial like attention to it, and he's someone who actually skateboards and is good at it, and so he's someone who can show them who those people can look to.
Skateboarding, you just have to have will, mind power, dedication, and pace yourself, and find some people who will help you grow, you know, so you can have a new lane to make it out the hood on the skateboard, and TK is a prime example as our menu.
The playing field has been leveled in skateboarding, you know, in terms of what race you are, what culture you're from, or what city you came from. It's open to anyone now.
There's like only been a few black skaters who have found success as pros.
And I do think that Terry represents everything. He's all-encompassing in that, you know, he has the interesting backstory, and he comes from an underprivileged environment, and he is really truly succeeding and revered and respected by his peers.
Family, outside of my mom and grandmother, they always were trying to push me to play sports. You know, it's common. You know, coming up in Long Beach, Poly High, they sent most people to the NFL, NBA. So it's like, they was looking at me like, here go a ticket right here. Even when I was like in, you know, middle school or whatever.
I thought he really gonna be a basketball player. But when we turned around, he was into skateboarding.
It's hard for TK growing up. Me too. But he managed to do what he do. Skateboard, that's his goal.
We moved all over Long Beach. 21st and Island, 10th and Line, 10th Street in Ohio. I was in foster care for a little bit too. I was young. I was just running around the streets, running around the corners, just being bad.
In November of 1999, after a lifelong battle with drug addiction, Terry's mother passed away due to heart failure.
I know she's in a better place. She's just smiling, looking down on me like she always knew it. Right after she passed, I just started getting boxes of like boards and clothes and shoes and stuff sent to my house. This how hyped I was. I got this stuff, laid it all out in the front of the living room and took pictures of it. Like if I just was never gonna see this shit again, I was just so hyped.
I knew he was gonna make it when he was just determined. Like I said, every day, if he did ditch school, he was especially on his corner. That corner was like his second period. Whatever period he did, it was that period right there on that corner. It was out here till about 10, 11 o'clock at night. And if he was out here by himself, he was out here by himself.
Coming up in Long Beach, everybody in high school gangbang.
I shot before, so you know. No, hard. I'm sitting at the bus stop, got shot, so you so hard around here.
My brothers do it, cousins, and everybody. So for me not to do it, like I'm saying, it just gave people an invitation to fuck with me. And then on top of that, like, oh, you skateboard? Like, nigga, why are you even doing this shit? Why are you even getting beat up behind this shit? Or why are you even taking a stand for this shit? Like, you tripping. Like, let this shit be. But in my eyes, I was like, hell nah, man.
With TK's success, money quickly followed.
People hated the fact that, like, I really was making it in it. Like, just hated it. Like, because they little brother wanted to beat me down, and sister looked up to me now, and I'm with Pharrell, I'm with Bam, and I'm with, you know what I mean? Like, so it's kind of like a, man, that's the kid I hated on all through high school, and man, fuck him.
He got a nice car and I ride in it. Somebody might say, you know, she thinks she, you know, but this is the truth. She thinks she did, she thinks she did. I don't think myself anything. I worked all my life.
It was crazy too, is the night the Bam show aired, they shot my house up. Like the night this shit aired, I remember like, Grandma, gather around, like it's about to come on. Right after that shit, niggas shot up our house.
A lot of threats, you know, like, and he said, we're on our way to St. Mary's Hospital right now.
That shit was scary. And my jaw snapped. I was like, fuck.
I just lost it, I don't know.
I thought I was gone.
When I walked into the emergency room, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know, was his head off or what. And so I'm looking so hard until I could even see him. I'm just looking. And he was saying, Grandma, here I am. And let me tell you something. The bullet went through his jaw right here. Didn't break a tooth.
It could have killed the nerves in my mouth and everything, but it got stuck luckily, and it didn't like hit none of my throat or none of that shit. Because I could have been fooled.
He was skating with the bullet. Because he just hanging there. The doc wasn't ready to take it out right then, you know. So, you know, he just wanted to get all his swelling, everything around. So went back, he just bullet just jumped out like that.
I still had people that ran with me and stood behind me no matter what. You know, because it's just like, nigga, we love you, T. Like, we been growing up. Just because you skate don't mean you're a different person.
His older brother said that, you know, well, you know, we got Terry's back, but I don't believe in all of that.
That's when I learned, like, I got to stop hanging around because it started turning into that. Like, dude, we'll do anything for you. This because we don't know how to repay you. Like, you got everything you want. Like, nigga, we gangbang, so we'll do it, nigga. We'll shoot this nigga. We'll do this. And it's just like, that's when I was like, enough is enough. Like, I can't come around, man.
I mean, you come in your hood doing some shit that they don't understand or that they associate with, like, you know, another culture or another race. Those things are gonna come up. I mean, it's quite natural, but I mean, like, you know, TK became good because there's something in him that didn't give a fuck about it.
Terry is just another kind of dude, man. He's just the epitome of making something out of nothing. And so many people, especially in the hood, are looking up to Terry as, like, he's so popular in the culture.
I think he started a trend in Long Beach because, you know, he's from Long Beach and he made it, so they probably think, oh, I could be the next TK.
As far as the hood goes, you get on the TV, you accept that you made it. So after he got on the TV with it, it became official, like, oh, okay, well, now nobody can make fun of me.
And again, that's my little cousin right there. Little Phil. Yeah. Phil! Look at that.
It's game.
Where you going, man? Where you come from? Yeah? Damn, that's what's up with your dad at.
Huh?
Your dad?
Home.
Yeah, you got some money, man?
Nah.
I go be right now.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Your birthday passed?
Yeah.
Happy belated birthday. What you want, man?
Oh, man. Skateboards.
All right. Well, I get it.
I'm rolling with this fucking link.
Well, call me. I get it. All right. I love you, man. Be safe.
Amy, cuz.
That's my cousin right there, man. That's the shit I'm talking about. Fuck yeah. That made my day, man.
The movement.
God damn, that made my day right there.
The kids is definitely, like, psyched to skateboard, and seeing these urban people do it, yeah, to seeing, like, minorities do it, yeah, it gives them, they feel more accepted of doing it.
People like TK and people like Darren Harper and Stevie Williams, you know, you on TV doing this or doing that, and then they find the original, like, what you came from. Oh, I'm a skater, or he's a skater. And then they get that outlook, you know what I'm saying? They're like, wow, you know what I'm saying? We can do this.
I used to do bets in the clubs with girls. Like, I give you 3 chances if you guess what I do. If you guess it, I'll buy you a bottle of Cristal, something like that. Nobody would get it. It was just like a game to play, you know what I mean? But since skateboarding has blown up so much, I can't play that game no more.
See, like, some girls now, they're like, oh, you skateboard, that's hot. Like, oh, that's cool. Oh, you're a skateboarder. I like, because when I grew up, it wasn't like that. Oh, you skateboard? Cool.
TK, like, gives, like, you know, say a kid, like, maybe a Watts or something, like, he can tell his mom, I could be a professional skateboarder if I want to.
The one thing that Pharrell got me with, man, and he had me like stuck with, was the fact of me uplifting my society and my culture and people from my neighborhood. I mean, we can make a statement on a skateboard much as possible, but outside of that, you still need something. You still need to be able to draw people in and say, you know what, I respect that. First car I bought was a Jeep Cherokee. I always wanted a Jeep, and I put D's on it.
Then he got the money together. He bought the loft downtown.
To me, like, I feel like that was probably one of the best investments I'd have done outside of buying a house I bought in Victorville, because of, like, what they're gonna do with downtown LA. So I got that spot, and we just rent it out now.
There's more exposure on the mainstream level. It's kind of more accepted culturally, and still interesting. So there's still some growth potential there. I think it's just a variety of factors, but I think, you know, there's a lot of young people in this world, and skateboarding's interesting to them.
The biggest change in the last 20 years of skateboarding would be the money.
Skateboarders can make money. You can make a legitimate earning and a life off of riding your skateboard.
Skateboarding at this point is you have to be a business person regardless of what level you're involved with.
There's fashion designers, you know, there's an accountant, there's a general manager, there's lawyers, like there's so many business opportunities. It's a regular business. You know, you can do whatever you want in the skateboard industry pretty much.
You take a job for pay, and I already do what I love doing, And if someone wants to pay me for that, I'm more than willing to do that.
At this point in skateboarding, the sky's the limit. There's so much you can do with skateboarding. Whether you want to make it within our industry, being a professional, riding a skateboard, there's always a job for that. There's design opportunities with it. You could become a shoe designer, a clothing designer. You could be a photographer that shoots the ads. You can be a web guy that develops the websites for a company. You could be a sales rep that sells the gear. There's so many opportunities within our industry now that you don't only have to be a professional skateboarder to make money off this industry.
I know they love skateboarding, but they love it, but at the same time, they do it for the money too.
The main thing I love about skating, like through all these years, how much it's changed, is the ability to make more money at it.
Having an agent, I've made a lot of money, and I don't feel I've ever sold my soul in doing so.
Like baseball, there's no minimum. Like you don't get in the industry and just get this. There's no cap off either, which is cool. It's an endless opportunity. Like you can, you know, Tony Hawk's worth over $1 billion, so you can take it there or you can not.
With skateboarding's mainstream popularity, its fashion has reached beyond the skateboarding community.
Now you go through the trade show and there's all walks of life, all ethnicities. It's black, brown, white. I feel fashion's a much bigger component in skateboarding than anything else. That's been the biggest change in skateboarding. There's actually fashions to choose from.
Now it's like, just as well as we go out to get dressed to go do something like hit the club or hit the movies, whatever, we didn't carry that onto our skateboards now.
People look at television as far as what they're gonna wear and all of that stuff. But since skateboarding is getting so much TV time now, that made it a trend. That made it a fashion thing now.
It's not a trend. Once you open that door, it doesn't really close.
The homie TK came on our block with all like the ice cream stuff. And you feel me? It was in the hood, you feel me? That's back there when everybody was just wearing all that baggy stuff. But when he came through with boxes, you feel me? And he was skating, everybody thought like, oh, that's a good trend. So they just started jumping on skateboards, started wearing like tight clothes.
Oh, they don't even wear khaki suits no more. They don't even think about khaki suits no more. It's all about true religion. You know what I mean? That's total difference.
They willing to take that chance, you know what I'm saying? With, like you said, with the tight fit and all that, they willing to. Hey, we wasn't taking chances like that. It was just sagging going on, and everybody wanted to be the hardest motherfucker coming out of their neighborhoods and all that.
Everybody loves fashion. Everybody like to be fly. It's all about that splash, that swag splash. You gotta love it, and every walk of life has its own type of fashion.
It's so evident that the urban industry is jumping over to skateboarding.
Looking at it like just like from 2 years ago, everybody clothes a lot baggier than, you know what I mean, now they True Religion's on, antique denims, like all that type stuff was more slimmed down, and all like, I feel like all them type of threads, they came from skateboarding.
Lil Wayne, he wears skate stuff, he be wearing DC stuff in his interviews. It's cool, they're just fans of the sport and they definitely bring attention to it, so I don't look at it as like, leave it, you know, it's good for us.
Lil Wayne, on the cover of Rides magazine, he's wearing our Misfits diamond shirt. That was huge. It's like, holy shit, this dude's on the cover wearing my shirt. You open up the magazine, there's like 5 or 6 pages of him just wearing the shirt, right. And they actually talk about the shirt in the magazine.
For me, it's always cool to see non-skaters buying into the skateboard style. Not just to make more money off it, but just to influence a wider group of people is always cool.
A lot of these kids, they're doing it now as a fad, but it's good because some of the kids are actually gonna become really good at skateboarding and fall in love with it. And they're gonna be the next generation of skaters.
Of course I'm making money doing a commercial for Lincoln. Of course I'm making money hosting for the X Games, but I'm doing tastefully and I'm doing it correctly.
A skateboarder makes money by whatever brand or sponsorship he rides for or whatever. When I'm wearing my gear, whatever it is, DGK, Gold Wheels, whatever it is, one of my sponsors, and I'm out there promoting. So when they see it, if it looks cool on me, it's fresh, Lupe might see it on Darren Harper and say, oh, I must admit, he looking kind of fly in that DGK shirt.
You got all these people who come into skateboarding and want to take a slice of the pie, but if they don't know anything about it, it'll never fucking work. So they start throwing money at people who do know about it, you know, and that's how they get hip to it and they become credible and valid and stuff like that, because they gotta have people who know what's going on and what skateboarding's about.
Kids today are not living it, they just do it. You know what I mean? You don't do it. You know, Pharrell don't do music, he is music. You know what I mean? So anybody who's an aspiring producer, you have to live it, man. You know what I mean? Forget what he's making on a track, forget about his boat. He do it because he loves it. All that comes later.
I think street skating has made skating just become huge and stuff, and I think it's great because there's a lot of talented individuals that coming out of the ghettos. Near the beginning of being a black skater was a little hard. It was a majority white sport. Until I was really came along, there wasn't any black skaters in the mainstream that they could sort of say, oh, I can do that. I mean, I never thought I was making a statement as being black, but a couple times when I felt that a race card was sort of dealt to me, it helped me skate better. You know, if you're sort of angry and you're like, oh yeah, you know, you think that, you know, I can't be as good as like just someone else. There wasn't as many little kids back then like there's now. I think it's crossed over, you know, poor kids, rich kids, all races. Skateboarding is just amazing. Some of the kids I skate with here, they're like 15. I quit for 15 years, you know, I mean, they're like, do you skate? You know, I mean, I'm like 45.
Skateboarding is definitely a way out of the hood, you know what I mean? Because it builds character in you and it shows you life, you know what I mean? You have to fall and get back up and try it all over again.
It's created a whole new lane and a whole new opportunity for kids who maybe never thought that this was even feasible for them.
When you just look at it, if you think that skateboarding is just skateboarding, then you're just looking at it one-sided, when it's a whole bunch of different avenues that open up from just one situation.
It helps me calming down, not to get in no fights for no reason.
Yeah, since skateboarding came around, I've seen less crime, everything seems to drop.
What up? Skate? I'm a dog. It's still pretty much the same. Like you have Bloods and Crips, you have different skateboarders that are competing against the same things, but it's just a different way of doing it. It's pretty much the same thing, but they just not dying from it.
I don't see it dying down no time soon. Now we got kids up in Harlem from off my block, got skateboards and practice skateboard tricks. I'm not saying there's a lot of them, but they are out there, and that wasn't happening 10, 15 years ago when I was coming up in the hood.
The best thing about it is that these skaters are the ones that call the shots. You know, even if the money's coming from Nike or from Pepsi or wherever it's coming from, they trust in the street cred and the intuition of the guys that came up living it.
You have to have a passion for it, and your motive has to be a great skateboarder, and then the other stuff will be added to you.
Skateboarding can help you. It can make you fucking king of the world or your own world, or it can, you know, chew you up and spit you out.
Skating definitely is like the university of diversity. It's so diverse now, man. And it wasn't like that back then.
And skateboarding makes me be all that I can be. Everything, I'm on a whole board.
To see somebody currently doing it is good because it turns on this whole new generation of younger kids onto skateboarding as well and makes them feel that they can do it too because all these other skaters are doing it.
I just know that I want to every day be better than I was yesterday. I want to be the best I can be at all times.
When I grew up, you couldn't look at your parents or like some teacher or some fucking counselor for that matter and tell them you want to be a professional skateboarder. They would laugh at you. They'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about, you know? I think I had said it at one point, you know? I would say that and I wanted to be a drummer, and these people would look at me like I was crazy.
It's still gnarly, it's still raw, it's still brutal, and it's still just as fun to anyone as it was since its inception, I believe.